Hi, welcome back. Dylan and I are back for another video here at the Dimas Wine Shop and Tasting Room. And this week is our holiday harvest tasting. So again, these next 2 weeks we're going to be getting you ready for the holidays, holiday parties, Christmas Eve dinner. So we have a great lineup this week. Just a couple announcements about next week's hours. Christmas Eve will be open from noon to 4, and then close Christmas Day.
Close Christmas Day. Right?
New Year's Eve is 2 o'clock to 8, and then New Year's Day we're closed.
Correct.
So we'll be posting those hours as well, getting all of that out for you. But let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to start with perfect little celebration wine. This is our rosé, and it's a blend, you said, of Pinot Nero?
Pinot Nero, right. Pinot Nero, which is the same thing as Pinot Noir, and Glera. Those are the two grapes that go in this blend. So, a lot of people will just say it's Pinot Noir, and it's done in a classic, Blanc de Noir style, except the fermentation doesn't take place. The fermentation does not take place in the bottle. On these types of wines, they do what's called method Charmant, which they put them in a huge tank, ferment it under pressure, and then they bottle it under pressure. So it's done in a little bit different style, but perfect New Year's Eve wine for those of you that, or even if you're going to do a holiday dinner and you want to start out with something that doesn't necessarily require any food, this is a great way to go as well.
It's a really pretty bottle too.
Pretty bottle, very festive looking for sure.
Alright, and I thought the same thing about this one. This is our A Priori, and this is a Pinot Noir, and just tasted it, love it.
Yeah, nice and light, and it's done on neutral oak for 9 months, 100% Pinot Noir. This comes out of Sonoma, and it's got that real nice, fresh strawberry, raspberry flavor that a lot of good light-colored Pinot Noirs taste like. For those of you that like earthy Pinot Noirs, this is not it. For those of you that do like the real fruit-forward Pinot Noirs, oh my God, this absolutely fits the bill.
And that's what I love.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So if you're doing ham, this would go really well with a ham. If you're doing any sort of cranberry dish, this will also go well with that.
Alrighty, and a name that everyone is very familiar with, it's our Lapis Luna. This is their Zinfandel.
Right, so this is their Romanza Moon. They've been making this wine now for as long as I've known Lapis Luna. This is their Zinfandel. It does have some Sangiovese. It's 85% Zinfandel, 15% Sangiovese. It comes out of their Chute vineyard, which is a 50-something-year-old vineyard. A lot of those vines go back to the original date of that vineyard as well. This was a little bit different. Remember, we were talking about this. Lapis Luna in Lodi, because this is where it's from. A lot of that fruit tends to be a little bit more floral. And this one is not so much. This one has a little bit more of an herbaceous quality, almost like having sage and thyme and those kinds of things. So for those of you that are doing turkey dishes, this would complement well. But just an absolutely lovely Zinfandel.
Yeah, I really like it. The nose itself, I always say you taste through your nose, and the nose itself is just really great. Next, we have our Cabernet, and this is the Berried Cane out of Washington. Out
of Columbia Valley. This is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon predominantly, but it does have some Merlot and some Syrah in it. So what I like about this is because it's finished in French oak, it does have some of those baking spices. So think of like cinnamon, nutmeg, and I think you're going to find just how lovely this goes with your holiday dinner. Absolutely love it.
And this is a little bit of a lighter style Cabernet.
It is. It's a much lighter style. I would call it medium to medium light, which is pretty common for this area.
Perfect. And next we have our blend, and this is the Pepper Jack.
Out of Barossa Valley. Barossa Valley is down in southern Australia. And this is Shiraz. Now, Pepper Jack, they've got a pretty nice portfolio. They put out some real high-end wines. They put out some mid-level wines, and then they also put out some entry-level wines. I would say that this certainly comes in right in their mid-level. And the Barossa Red is predominantly Shiraz, but it's got Cabernet Sauvignon, it's got Merlot, Malbec, Grenache, Tempranillo. It's a blend of a lot of grapes in here, and it's really, really well blended. And you know, the Australians are very technical about their wine. The way they approach their wine, they approach it in a very scientific approach as opposed to, you know, an artistic approach like, let's say, the French or the Italian. So a lot of these wines you find to be very consistent year after year after year. A lot of these are, a lot of automation takes place in winemaking in Australia. One of the most advanced, technically advanced winemaking countries in the world, and as a result, lots of technology is employed, and you get some real consistent wines. So that is the Barossa Red.
Alrighty, and last but not least, this is our educated guess, another name that you guys are definitely going to recognize. This is their Cabernet.
The Cabernet, and once again, this one has also got a nice blend, but this is all Napa Valley. It's a blend of Rutherford fruit and Yountville fruit. Those are the two areas within Napa Valley. It is predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon, but it does have some Merlot, some Cab Franc, and a little bit of Petit Verdot. It's done 12 months on a combination of French American oak. And you know, when we were trying this, I mean, there's just this real juiciness to this wine that is, you know, juicy, chocolatey, just really such a high-end drinking wine at this price point. And for those of you that have been drinking educated guests here, you know what we're talking about. You know, for a $20 somewhere in there, a $20 bottle of wine, it drinks a lot higher end than that.
Yeah, I loved the Pinot that we had, and I love their Cab. It's always great. So what would you pair that with?
I'd certainly be looking at a rack of something like a rack of lamb. Yeah, a rack of lamb, I think, a crown rack of lamb, I think would go really, really well with this.
Perfect. Great lineup this week.
Very good lineup. So, you know, we got a little bit of everything here for everybody. You know, make sure you're paying attention to this Villa Sandy, because I think from now through the rest of the year and at the beginning, this is a great way to celebrate with bubbles without having to do it at a real high-end price. So,
I agree.
all right. So happy holidays again.
Happy holidays.
From all of us here at San Dimas Wine Shop.
And we will hopefully see you this week for the tasting.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.